In this video, I want to share an overview of the resonance protocol and each step in this funnel and how you can install this and create a systematic way to establish yourself in a market, in an industry, attract like-minded individuals who you can help, and strategically and organically nurture those relationships into new business opportunities, whether it's through the front end or the back end, partnerships, collaborations, new clients, new customers. But this is sort of the process, the flow of what it looks like. And it starts up here at the brand blueprint. In this brand blueprint, you want to have everything you need as far as your niche messaging, your brand guidelines, your voice, tone, style, your voice of customer, and identifying how your offer fits into their journey and what their language is. And so one hack to being able to create all of these assets that go into this blueprint is to just record a simple 30-minute to 60-minute interview where somebody is asking you questions in a specific format, ideally a storytelling format that positions your ideal persona, your ideal customers as the heroes and your brand, your company as the guide. So following something like the story brand framework or the SB7 framework or the hero's journey framework, by strategically interviewing yourself or having somebody interview you in that way allows you to extract who you help, how you help them, and why they need your help. In the who, you understand the persona and the problem. In the how, you share your credibility, your process, and your plan of action. And in the why, you would cover the origins, the impacts, the consequences of failure, and what happens when you achieve success in that desired transformation. And then not only just the journey of achievement of you solving their problem, but internally, what is that transformation that you are delivering upon as well? Following that storytelling structure allows you to pretty much brain dump everything you need, because all we're trying to do at the end of the day is get a raw transcript of that conversation. And then we're going to feed that into AI. And then once you feed that into AI, it can analyze, it can extract, and it can structure information from that raw transcript. And so if we prompt the AI correctly, we can tell it exactly what to look for, exactly how to structure it, give us some different angles, and create some different assets that we can use. And in this brand blueprint, we will then use that to create the foundational pillars of all of our content, which will then be distributed across these different social channels in different ways, whether it's paid, whether it's organic, inbound or outbound opportunities, traffic that we will be generating from that brand blueprint. We know that it will be very specific, it will be intentional, it will relate back down to the blueprint, which acts as an anchor for everything that you create. And so now that you have the foundations, now that you have your strategy to generate traffic and attract your ideal audience, now you need a way to convert that attention into an owned audience, because whatever traffic channel that you're using, you may not own it, whether it's a social platform or whether it's through a partnership, but you do need a way to convert that attention into an owned audience. And so I recommend something like having a lead magnet. Now, lead magnet can be anything. It could be a content, it could be a course, it could be a video, it could be access, something where you're just exchanging value, where somebody has to exchange their contact information in order to get access to whatever resource, tool, or community that you're offering. And so you want to have a designated page and make it very simple, low friction in the decision-making process. It's either you move forward or you leave the page. And those who opt in, you then redirect them to a thank you page. This is another way for you to kind of indoctrinate them into your world. And then once they opt in, ideally, you'd want to send them a welcome email. And in that email, you would have a link to whatever asset that they had opted in for, but then you'd also want to enroll them into a welcome email nurturing sequence. And then this is how you can strategically position yourself as a trusted resource to someone who's solving their problem. In this lead magnet, maybe you're giving them 5 tips or a special process or a protocol like this, and teaching them exactly how to solve a specific problem. And then in your welcome email, you are kind of sharing your origin stories, sharing how you can add value. Here you're teaching them another framework, something that they can install, you're adding value. And then maybe after you've given enough value on one of your last emails, you can then bridge them into your sales funnel, which we can get into, which is the next stage that you want to nurture this relationship into, which ideally would be something like this, which is an offer page. They can see what you do, and if they are interested, then they can book a time on your calendar, and then that will lead to more meetings. But ideally, by the time they even get to this stage of the funnel, they're warmed up, they're primed, they're qualified. So that way, the people that go to this page and the ones that decide to take action and actually go to this page, which is the calendar, they're actually high quality and they are already excited and interested in talking to you because they've consumed enough of your content up here and consumed enough of your way of thinking that you're now positioned as a trusted authority in their minds. You can connect it all together. You can see how everything kind of just is intentional. It's structured. Each step has a purpose of what it is, why it exists, and what can we do to optimize. And then we can see the flow of what is working to get people to the next stage. And also it's easier to identify what is not working. What are the bottlenecks? And then how can we optimize? If you compare it to something like this, where somebody goes to like a generic website and then they are on your homepage and then they might check out your about page. Then for your about page, they go to like your services page. And they go to like your case studies and testimonials page. And then from there, they might check out your YouTube. And then they might see you on LinkedIn. They might see a post that you put on a blog post over here that might lead back to your website. That also leads back to your Facebook. That leads back to another page. They kind of explore your content with no real intention, no real purpose. You can see how messy it can get. So that's why you want to have something like this that's more structured. So it's like, okay, who are we helping? How do we go tap into where they are at online? And then how can we tell them to take this specific action? Okay, once they take this specific action, what is the very next thing they see? And how do we deliver it to them? Okay, how are we doing that? And then once they receive it and they click on it, where are they going? They're in our ecosystem. What are we sending them to add value and to nurture that relationship? What else can we teach them? Okay, now that we've shared who we are, we've shared some value, how can we ascend this relationship to the next level? Okay, once they're ready to ascend to the next level, what is that piece of content that they need to consume? Or what is the activation point that we need to check off in order to get them to book a call? Once they book a call, how do they book a call? If they get to this stage, you know exactly the process that they went through to get there, and it's intentional. So this is an overview of the resonance protocol, how you can strategically create opportunities and position yourself as a trusted authority, credible resource in your space.